Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I was really planning on shooting this video tonight um, because I'm still recovering from a bad cold. However, I did shoot this video, the same content, almost a month ago before I started watching the television series. I haven't completed it yet. I've still got 3 more episodes left. But the problem was that somewhere down the line, I accidentally deleted that video. So I don't know how it happened, but they managed to delete it, and I can't find it on my phone. It's not in the trash either. So yeah, I'm redoing it. Just letting you know. So I have actually shot mini reviews of some of the episodes, except for the last 3 or 4, and I've got those three episodes still yet to rewatch, because I have watched this series before. It's something that's near and dear for my childhood. There's a lot of nostalgic feelings regarding this particular show. Even though it only lasted for 1 season, it got cancelled after 15 episodes. They did have 1 more episode left. It never aired, but you can watch it on DVD. And but despite that fact, the show has still got the fans, people like me who watched it as kids, and probably even other people who watched it as adults. But it does have a small cult following on the internet, from whatever I can see. So I'm talking about The Misfits of Science, which is an American science fiction comedy drama series that it aired on NBC. It premiered on October 4th, 1985, and the last episode that they aired was on February 21st, 1986. I saw it on reruns in Kuwait. And when we came back, like I mentioned, I did manage to record a few of those episodes, so I showed it to my cousins as well. And this is something that I really loved. What is the show about? I do have to mention that there is some tragedy related to this particular series, and it's called a triple tragedy, as I named it. I'm reading from the article that I actually wrote about this particular show a little while ago. But yes, there is a triple tragedy related to the show. So the series is basically about these 5 individuals initially, and then only 4, who they form this kind of I don't want to say superhero, but it's kind of like that. The reason they call Misfits of Science is they've all got something related to, basically 3 of them have mutated because of something scientifically that happened. We've got one person who can shrink to about this size, one person who can shoot electricity from electric bolts from his hand, and his eyes also his eyes also glow when he can basically pull power from static electricity in the air. And we've got the young teenage girl, a former teenage delinquent who has the power of telekinesis. She can move things with the power of her mind, as long as she can see them. So that's basically the show in a nutshell. Their leader doesn't have any special skills, but he is basically the heart of the team, and he is their de facto leader. And initially you also have one more character, and she doesn't have any superpowers either. So like I mentioned, Misfits of Science, it starred Dean Martin Paul, who plays the leader. He plays Dr. Billy Hayes. He's got no superpowers at all. He is a young research scientist at the Humanidine Institute. They specialize in human anomalies, and that's how the science aspect comes to it. He's got a lot of enthusiasm, and he gets into trouble. He gets steamed into trouble as well, but he managed to find a way out no matter what. His best friend and colleague is Dr. Alvin Lincoln, or they call him Big Al, or just Al. He is a 7'4" scientist, African American, played by Kevin Peter Hall. Now, if you don't know who Kevin Peter Hall is, sorry, my nose is like blocked. Kevin Peter Hall is the actor who played the Predator in the first 2 Predator films. He was also Harry Harry and the Hendersons. Uh, so that's the guy. He's actually 7 feet 2 inches tall, but in the show they say 7 feet 4 inches tall. So he's a an introverted person, but and despite his height, everybody thinks he could be really good at basketball. The thing is, he sucks at basketball, which have a recurring theme couple times in the series. So he wanted to feel like what it would be like to be normal, and that's why he developed the serum. He tried to experiment with it he wanted to become normal size, like say around 6 feet or something like that, but unfortunately what happened is it made him shrunk. Temporarily, he can last for a few minutes, and then he goes back to his normal size. So that's Alvin's power. Johnny Bukowski is a rock and roll musician played by, the actor's name is Mark Thomas Miller, who I've never seen too much. I've only seen him in one episode of Alien Nation other than this particular show. Johnny Bukowski is like I said, is a rock and roll musician who got electrocuted while he was on stage, and it resulted in him getting electric powers. So he can drain all the static electricity from anything, from from the fuse, from the fuse box, or anything like that, and he can, he gets the power. He can shoot bolts of lightning, which comes in very handy for several cases. But he is vulnerable to water. And so initially when you see him, he kind of lives really like a hermit, away from most of society. And then we've got Gloria Dinalo, who is a troubled teenager. She's got the power of telekinesis. She's been in some troubles, that's why she's in the system. Her mother's in the mental institute, and she claims that Gloria is from outer space. So she is supposed to be around 16, 17 at this time, not yet 18, I guess. Played by a very, very young Courtney Cox. Yes, the same Courtney Cox from Friends. I think she was around 20 when the show aired, if I'm not mistaken. 19 or 20, I guess. Yeah, and her probation officer is Jane Miller, played by Jennifer Holmes, but she was only in the first 7 episodes, and after that you don't get to see her. She basically has a prior relationship with Billy, but we get to see her, she is pregnant, and that, but they're still very good friends, so that's it. She's there basically to see that Gloria doesn't get into too much trouble. A shame that she actually disappeared from the show, to be honest. And I don't know the reason, I couldn't find the reason why. Rounding out the main characters are Dick Stetmeyer from the main cast. He is played by the absolutely wonderful and the late Max Wright. If you don't know who Max Wright is, he played the father in Alf. He was also the owner or manager of Central Perk in Friends, so that's another connection to Friends. And this was just before he joined joined the show Alf. Anyway. So he plays their supervisor, the manager, their boss, who's always stunned by the things they get into, but he always roots for them and helps them out whenever he can, although he complains quite a lot. And we have the lovely Diane Zavida, who plays, I don't know what character, oh yeah, Miss Nance. She plays the character Miss Nance. She's a supporting character. She is the secretary of the scientist. She's more interested in working on her nails, and she takes a lot of coffee breaks, and that basically is the main cast. So what is this show all about? Like I mentioned, this is the thing. So they form this group that initially tries to help out. Oh yeah, before we go there, let me talk about the triple tragedy. The reason why I call it a triple tragedy is three of the characters are dead, but in Max Wright's case, it is actually that's much later on in life. But Dean Martin died at the age of 35. 35? Yeah. In 1987. So he was basically in the military reserves. He was a pilot, and He died in a snowstorm up in the mountains. The helicopter crashed, and that's basically how he died. Uh, in 1987, like I mentioned, I think it was just like, I'm going to have a quick check. Yeah, he was almost 36. He was 35 years old at the time. And he crashed in the San Giorno mountain in California. He was a pilot, and he was with the California Air National Guard, but unfortunately he crashed into a plane. Sorry, not a helicopter. That's how he died. Kevin, that's not the only tragedy. Kevin, Peter Hall, unfortunately for Kevin, in I'm not sure exactly when it was, but he died in 1991. While he was shooting the series Harry and the Hendersons, he announced that he had contracted HIV from a blood transfusion during surgery, and in 1991 he died from AIDS-related pneumonia just 1 month before he would have turned 36 years old. So that basically is another one. And contrary to the fact that he played a character who doesn't have any skills in basketball, he was actually pretty good at basketball. In fact, he actually played for his college, and he played professionally as well, basketball. So those are the two main tragedies. And of course, I want to also mention one more thing. He, what was that? Yeah, he actually was considered for the role of LeVar Burton before the role was, of Geordie LaForge before the role went to LeVar Burton. So it would have been surprising to see him and strange to see him in Star Trek. But I think they would have maybe used him as an alien. He did appear in one of the episodes in Star Trek: The Next Generation as Leor. I can't remember the episode, The Price. It was in 1989. He was an alien basically. I think he was under makeup, much like his role as in Predator and Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah, so those are the two main deaths. Of course, like I mentioned, Max Wright passed away at the age of 75. So I wouldn't say that's an early death, but yeah, 75 isn't that old. And the other tragedy, as the part of my triple tragedy article that I wrote about the characters, about the actor, about the series basically, is that 1991, so same year as when Kevin Peter Hall died. Mark Thomas Miller was in an accident that disfigured his face. So it stalled his career. After he recovered from the accident, he did go on to start a career in building contracting. Home remodeling for the handicapped and all that. He did that until 2003. He made a small attempt to come back to acting, but then he found out that he had lost the passion for it. He didn't have the patience, so he started going into product engineering and development. Started a company basically doing that. So he managed to have surgery to fix a lot of these things. But yeah, it's really sad that all three of them, two because of death and him basically having that accident and disfigurement, that he had to stop. He basically stopped acting. Like I mentioned, the only other show I've seen him in was an episode of Alien Nation, another short-lived television series. So this video is almost 15 minutes in. I'm going to stop it now, and then we can pick it up in the next part.